Can HBAR shock the crypto world going into 2026 is the question I will be answering in today's video. Hey guys, Foxy is Trading here, back with another crypto video for you guys, and today we are talking about Hedera HBAR. Now, today's video is going to be a breakdown on the project, on the crypto. It is my first video on it, so I want to break it down, what it is, the competitors, why it's a strong investment opportunity, and then we're going to look at the chart and where I think price is headed. And also for future videos, if you guys want to see more about Hedera and you guys let me know, then I will be breaking down all the news events and all things like that. But in today's video, we're just breaking it down why it is a strong project so everybody understands it perfectly by the end of this video. So let's get right into it, shall we? What is HBAR? HBAR is the cryptocurrency that powers Hedera Hashgraph. It is a next generation network that is built to be very fast, very secure, and extremely efficient. Okay, so I want everybody to think of it like a new and improved version of a blockchain that big companies can actually use in the real world. And the real world utility is going to be very important coming up. So Hedera doesn't use a typical blockchain, which are blocks that others do. Instead, it uses a technology called Hashgraph, which lets it's process transactions way faster, lower fees, and much more security. And as we know, everybody is looking for security, right? Look, 0.001 cost per transaction. That is what everybody wants in today's time. Very, very cheap. So why is Hedera a strong crypto project? So we know it is super, super fast. It can handle approximately 10,000 transactions per second. And when we compare that to a Bitcoin or Ethereum, it is much faster. Okay. So the speed makes Hedera perfect for payments, for gaming, AI, which is obviously blowing up, microtransactions, apps, right? So many, many things. Now, number two, which I stated, the extreme low cost, right? And if you are going to watch my videos in the future, or maybe some of you have been watching my videos, I often talk about Ethereum and its high prices. And that is one of the reasons that I don't like Ethereum as much. But Hedera, as you can see, extremely low, fraction of a penny. And when you are making millions of transactions per day like that, you need it to be low. Otherwise, it's just not going to work. Number three, we have that enterprises are backing Hedera. And this is one of the most important things. You will hear people, including myself, talk about a crypto project having strong tech, but not having that real world adoption, no partnerships, right? And that is causing a little bit of harm on that project. Hedera, absolutely not. It is already working with so many massive partners. We have Google, we have IBM, we have Boeing, LG, we have, what else was there? Dell, right? Here we go, right? LG, Dell. We have so many big ones. Ubisoft, right? Look at all of these big institutions in different sectors that HBAR is already working with. So you can see that the real world utility is there and it is just going to continue growing. Okay. This is able to give HBAR legitimacy and real world adoption for the future, and also a lot of stability. Number four, which is I would say it's not that important, but it is still important. It's that it is eco-friendly and it is extremely efficient. So a lot of people now are also looking at energy. We know energy is being consumed like crazy. Things use more energy than ever before. And Hedera actually does not use that much energy at all. It is actually one of the greenest cryptos that we have. So that is very good, seeing that it is green and how many transactions it is doing. So it's very good to see. And then the last important point that I think Hedera is a strong project is the real world adoption and the real products, right? Companies are building as we speak on Hedera, right? They are building tokenized assets, there's supply chain tracking, there's micropayments, there's prevention systems, right? Many things for companies to be working with and getting provided. Now, what are the competitors to Hedera? Well, I would say there's 4 main ones. Ethereum, which is outdated. It is expensive, just not my favorite. I don't think it's that good compared to Hedera. We have Solana. I do relatively like Solana, but I still think Hedera may be slightly ahead of it in certain factors. We have Avalanche. Avalanche is good for scaling, but it is not as fast or energy efficient as Hedera. And then we have the last one, which is Algorand. That crypto I am not too familiar with, and I need to do more research on it, but I would say it's newer than Hedera, and there isn't obviously as much adoption with that project, with Algo, as Hedera and the big institutions and things like that. So Hedera is definitely on top, with Solana right behind it, and then Avalanche right behind that, and then we have Ethereum and Algo. Okay, so now that we understand what Hedera is, now we understand why it's a strong project, who's its competitors, all of that good stuff. Let's pull up CoinMarketCap, and then we're going to look at the charts and talk about where I think price is going and where are the buying zones. So we are green across the board on Hedera, 3% in the last week, up 2% in market cap, and slightly up in volume. We have 30%. It's a good pump, right? And 87% bullish on the community sentiment. I say this always, 80 is good, but you want to get it to 90%. It looks a lot better and a lot cleaner. And it is on pretty much every big exchange, so that is covered. Now looking at the chart, right? We have Hedera here on the weekly time frame. What do I see right away? Right away, I see that we have this weekly fair value gap, right? Let me mark this out for everybody. And what is a fair value gap? This is an imbalance in price between this wick and this wick. We have this imbalance. And you can see that this imbalance is very strong, right? Tapped here, pushed up. Tapped here, pushed up. We got the manipulation candle, did not want to close below it, tapped it, pushed up. Respected it again, went up, right? So 4 weeks that it has respected this area and gone back up. Now, maybe some of you are saying, well, we also have this imbalance in price right over here, or this imbalance in price right over here. Yes, it is true, but this is how you want to see it, right? There is no stability. There is nothing here that is holding price, right? Price is breaking through and closing through, so it is not a strong zone. And this zone lower, we have never even really tapped it. Yes, the manipulation candle tapped it, but that doesn't really matter. And other prices have not tapped it, right? So we have to look at what is the strongest piece that we have, and it is this zone right over here, right? We can move this down slightly, just like that. So we have our weekly fair value gap. We have our very strong important zone. Awesome. Now, what else can we look at? Well, we are in a bearish trend. We have our high. We have our lows. We have our lower high. We have our lower low. Lower high, lower low, right? This is a very simple bearish trend to the downside, step ladder to the downside. I think everybody can see that. So we've established our zone. We've established our trend. What else is happening in the market? Now we're going to get more intricate. We have our liquidity zones. Liquidity is where price heads to, right? So for example, this is our strongest liquidity zone. Why? Because we swept all of this liquidity and we have not swept it in future price. Now, do I think price is going to sweep this big manipulation candle? It's unlikely. It's possible, but it's unlikely. There are some cryptos that have rebalanced it completely. There are some that won't rebalance it before the push to the upside, right? So if this is unlikely, we have to look for a weaker but still strong substructure of liquidity. And that is right over here. Very, very clear, right? We have swept this and we have swept this price, right? So both of these price targets have been swept by that liquidity. Okay, so we have been able to see where liquidity is formed. We are in a bearish trend. There is a strong zone. So now let's go to the daily and talk about where price could go. So on the daily, we are still bearish, right? Everybody can see that. And what would make sense? To me, what would make sense is price going down a little bit more, taking out liquidity, going within the zone, going to the equilibrium, which is the middle center, and then giving us a push to the upside. So that is my buying zone, right? 12 cents basically to 11 cents, or I should say 1.25 to 11, right? So in this box, this would be my buying box if I was looking to get into HBAR as a first time, as an investment, as a leverage trade, or possibly a scale in position, right? This is a strong zone. And then what else do I want to say for this quick, well, not quick, but recap on or breakdown of Hedera, because we're going to talk about more intricate analysis on the 4-hourly zones, things like that. If you guys do enjoy the video and you actually want to see more video and more content on HBAR, so it would really mean a lot to me if you guys can like the video up and comment in the comments, obviously. If you want to see more videos on HBAR, do you care about HBAR? Just let me know. If there is an interaction, then it shows me that there's interest in HBAR for me to be able to make more content on it. If there's not, well then simply I'm not going to make content for people that don't want to see this. There's other cryptos that my viewers would like to see. So please let me know in the comments below. And the last thing I want to talk about is this was our altcoin season in 2021, right? So basically this entire push, right, 2021, we go to the upside. Now, every 4 years around, we have our altcoin season. And I think going into 2026, altcoin season is going to happen. So look how beautiful it would be if we get down to this zone, sweep liquidity, like I said, and then you buy up there and price targets where? Buy side liquidity. Because where there's sell side liquidity, there's also buyer liquidity, right? And then we would be getting 400% gain up to that zone with altcoin season going up. And that does not mean that we cannot go even higher up. Maybe we're going to be hitting $1 on HBAR. It's possible. We're going to have to see how the market moves. But that is the last piece of the puzzle that I wanted to tell everybody about. Now, like I said, if you guys enjoyed this video on HBAR, like it up, comment if you have any questions or concerns. Also, hit that subscribe button. It really does mean a lot to me. And make sure you guys do your own research because I'm not a financial advisor. And I'll see everybody in the next video.